Hello YouTube. So today we're going to replace the third gear pressure, what do you call it, transmission oil pressure switch. It's a weird name. It's like, I think sometimes they even call it like third gear clutch transmission oil pressure switch. It's really long, strange name. Anyways, let me flip the camera around here and show what we're working. Show the part number and all that stuff. Now when you go to look for this online, a lot of times it'll try to say like second and third gear pressure oil switch, but that's not true. It's just third gear. Part number 28610 RKE 004. It's a 33 psi switch, and you see it has that black plastic on it. The second gear switch is different because it's a 38 psi switch instead of 33, and it's green instead of black. So yeah, don't mix those up. What else can I tell you? This is going to make shifting between second and third gear a lot smoother with that, second gear switch. I'm sorry, the third gear switch. The second gear switch improves shifting between first and second gear, which is mostly my issue, but while I'm at it, I'm doing this one. Between second and third gear, I could feel like there's a little bit of a flare shift, but not too bad. Oh yeah, so let me talk about flare shifting for a second. So flip this back around here. All right, so flare shifting, or some people might say it's slipping between gears, but that's actually not the correct term. Correct term is flare shifting, which is, let's say you're in first gear and 3,000 RPMs, and it's about to shift in a second gear. Well, without you pushing the gas any harder, the RPM kind of jumps up like to 3,500 RPM, let's say. And then when it does shift, you can kind of feel it like banging the gear, or your car might kind of shudder and shake when it does. It just doesn't shift very smoothly. Plus it'll rev up between gears on its own. So that's flare shifting. All right, now let's show the process of getting to the third transmission oil pressure switch. So you have two 10 millimeters here on the battery terminals, and then you remove your battery, obviously. And before you go to remove this guy, where's the needle nose? So you want some needle nose pliers, because this battery terminal has this piece that clips onto this black battery tray. It clips in here, so you want to like squeeze these guys here, that white plastic, and that way you can release it and shove it up through the hole. Okay, what else? So the battery tray here is held in by three 12 millimeter bolts. They look like this. And you also have this 10 millimeter bolt that goes, let's see if I move the camera here, right here. All right, so you got to remove that 10 millimeter from right there, and you'll have 12 millimeter here and here, and then there's a tricky one that's hidden. So it's up under the battery tray, so it's about this far back. It's pointed that way, and it's along this metal frame here. So what you got to do is get a 6-inch extension on your 12 millimeter. You can also add another small extension. This is about 2.5, 2 3/4 inches. But if you go any longer than that, if you use a 10-inch extension, you're not going to be able to do it. So with this extension, you got to go basically like this, but you're underneath the tray here, and you've got to kind of work with the radiator hose there a little bit, but it's about right there. Another thing, this coolant reservoir attaches here, and if yours is not stuck on, you should be able to just pull it up so it attaches on that right there. Now if yours is stuck on, you're gonna have to kind of pry it off with like a flathead screwdriver or something. All right, so then we move that metal battery tray out of the way. Dang wasp out here. All right, and the third gear pressure oil switch is down there. So I bought this set of from Harbor Freight, this Pittsburgh 15-piece metric service wrench set, and I got this 22 millimeter. Now a normal 22 millimeter might fit in this area okay, but I got this set because supposedly you need it to do the second gear switch, which is back there, which I'm going to do later. Let's see if I can get this on film. That third gear pressure oil switch, I already cleaned it off and I already loosened it down there. Let's see. Right there it is. So that's underneath these other two transmission solenoids here. I think that's like a dual solenoid. And the wiring harness that plugs into it, you make sure you give it a good squeeze. And you should, if you squeeze it hard enough, you should feel it release. Because if you just try to yank on it, you're going to break that wire, because that's what happened to me over there on that second gear switch. It's also one wire, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But yeah, it was pretty easy to loosen, and then now I can put in the new one. So that's pretty much all you need to know to do that.